Hi guys, I've just received this very nice hoodie from Open Application Network, and I think it's a good time to summarize what's been happening in their ecosystem in 2019, which overall I see as a very fruitful and successful year for Open Application Network. And I'll be using this ecosystem chart, which got prepared by one of their committee members, Interstellar. By the way, kudos to Interstellar, great work. So I will go through this ecosystem chart to highlight what, in my view, was most important for AION, or now Open Application Network, in the previous year, as well as highlight some of the plans for the next year. So stay with me. First, let me start with a reminder that whatever you hear or see in this video is not a financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just doing my own research, which is focused on technology anyway. So any information which I'm sharing here, digest more on your own. I do encourage you to invest your time and effort into learning about cryptocurrencies and blockchain. I think we are building something cool here that's backbone of the future of finance, future of media, future of money. So this will not be wasted effort, I guess. But this information is my personal opinion, and study further on your own. You probably recall I've been sharing this ecosystem chart. It was a Q1 2019 update, so I've been showing this probably something like a year ago. And that's a new one, again prepared by the same person, Interstellar. This one is Q1 2020, this is Q1 2019. So just comparing those two, you can see how much has changed in the Open Application Network ecosystem. And yeah, again, great thanks to Interstellar for preparing this. You can actually follow him on Twitter. I think its handle is unicorn_watch, and also on Telegram as Interstellar. So Interstellar did a really great job summarizing the whole ecosystem. And again, that's a disclaimer here. It's a community work, so that's not an Open Application Network official document. However, I think it's a pretty good compilation. And you will see here, I mean, various applications which are being built on the network, various partners, some of the open apps, some of the technology stuff which this team built, some of the highlights from the past year, and many more. So I think it's a really good document. You will see this in the video description below, so no worries. I know it's hardly visible probably here. I'll be using this for talking, but you can review it on your own. And also, yeah, that's very interesting. So here are the references. So in this section there are various links to tweets, to websites, to other media, with some references, some confirmations of information which Interstellar compiled into this document, right? So it is just not out of thin air. It is supported with some materials, but obviously don't treat it as a binding version, right? So things are dynamic, things are changing. Some of the POCs are just gone, some new are appearing, some partners are building. There are things being built on a private chain, on public chain, so not everything is here. Probably some information, also some applications which are shared on this ecosystem charts may not push through. But I think in overall that's a good indication how the whole ecosystem really evolved, and what's the size and what are the various parties involved into AION, or now Open Application Network. Okay, but without further ado, let's just go into that. So let's start with some technology updates, and I think last year was really fruitful in this regard. So they managed to deliver the AVM, which is AION Virtual Machine, and simply put, it's a Java virtual machine. This team developed a virtual machine which enables developers to create their smart contracts directly with Java. And we are talking like a full Java here, not JavaScript like some other projects did in the past. So list just the JavaScript. AION provides full Java capabilities for developers. So I think it's a huge thing, right? So we have like 10 million Java developers in the world. Most of the enterprises, big companies use Java. Millions of applications are developed in Java, so that's the most popular language, and now developers can create directly with Java on blockchain. So I'm very positive regarding like a near to long term impact this will have on the development of this ecosystem. And not only it's easier, simpler to create the applications, it's also faster, right? So Java gives you this parallel transaction processing and many more. And there are already projects which are interested to adopting it. One of them I've mentioned in my previous video is Rootstocks, or also known as RSK. So Sergio Lerner from RSK was really impressed with AVM and the security level implemented in AVM, and RSK is considering to use AVM on their platform as well. There are some discussions to incorporate AVM as one of the standards into Enterprise Ethereum Alliance, where Matthew Spoke is in the board of directors. I'll talk about this later. So I think this is a backbone and will become an industry standard for blockchain. I think that was a smart move. And AVM is one thing. The other is OpenKits, right? So OpenKits is something what they are building right now, and it gives further extensions of APIs in several pillars. So OpenKits for economy, OpenKits for funding, for governance, for identity. So they are working right now on those APIs, which will kind of be pre-programmed libraries to apply blockchain to specific use cases. Because basically the idea behind the Open Application Network is that not everything you must do on blockchain, you should do actually on blockchain. There are some specific use cases which make sense to be applied on blockchain when you are talking like a regular business. So with those open kits, you will be able to program those specific use cases, move them onto the blockchain, and not the whole app, because probably the infrastructure overall is not ready yet. So so that's what they've done, and that's what they are still working on. So the extension of this open kits, it's something what they're working on. Just going further into that, the next thing is the meta transactions. It's something what I think was really required for the blockchain industry, because right now in most of the blockchain solutions you need to pay for the gas, so kind of pay for the transaction fees as an end user, which is pretty cumbersome. So if you are using MetaMask and you want to interact with some decentralized application, then you as a user need to cover the cost of transactions happening on the blockchain. So before that you need to go to the exchange, buy some tokens, or buy Ether actually to cover for the gas. So first you need to go to KYC, AML, purchase the tokens, transfer to the MetaMask, and then with MetaMask you can access your application. So that was the past.
Hey, I mean, whatever, just I'm thirsty.
No, whoa, you can't just hand me lemon coin. You need MetaMask for that. Hand him the coins. You're forgetting something.
Please give me lemonade in exchange for lemon coins.
You need gas.
I need gas for lemonade?
Do you even crypto, bro? You need to get some Ether to pay for the gas so that the Fox can send me the lemon coins.
So that was the past, and with the meta transactions which Open Application Network introduced, it allows developers to pre-fund the transaction fees. So you can treat it as a kind of gas station where the transaction fees are already pre-funded, covered by the developers, and then users are interacting with the applications in a regular way as with any other application, right? So they don't need to purchase the gas, Ether, AION, or whatever. So from the user experience, I think that was a necessity, right? So as a user, you don't want to think about blockchain or paying for the transaction fee. So you don't have to do that. Meta transaction is something what Open Application Network introduced as a solution to the known problem. Another major milestone which they delivered last year is the upgrade to their consensus protocol from proof of work, which they used to be secured with, to hybrid of proof of work and proof of stake. They call it Unity because it unites stakers and miners. So right now every second block is produced by stakers and every second block is produced by miners. And there's a huge extension in terms of security of the network because right now you will need at least 51% of the hashing power and 51% of all the coins at stake to even try attacking the network. So it's much more secure. But the other implication is that it increased the utility of AION coin by introducing the staking mechanism. So everyone can stake their AION coins right now, helping to secure the network on one hand, and on the other hand, you can earn some interest as a staker. Or you can open your own staking pool or just join one of the existing staking pools. So here you'll see this, the blue part does the mining part, the yellow part does the staking part, and you'll see some of the staking pools listed here. I think there are like 40 of them right now. AIONpool.tech, which is one of my favorites, Mindful Staking, AION Smart Stake, Stake AION, Figment Network, Staking Facilities, Blocksbean, who else? AION Surf. So there are many pools which provides the staking services, and they have different fees, they have different machines, so you may just choose whatever you want. And staking is a big topic, so I'll do a next video when I will cover like how to stake and details of staking mechanism, economics, etc. So not going to this right now. Important to mention is that those staking pools are also interesting extension to their ecosystem because they not only help securing the network, providing diversity of solutions, but they also build their own interfaces, platform, applications. So I can provide links in the video description below, but Blocksbean, one of the staking pools, delivered some nice interface giving visibility to various staking pools. You can track your own staking progress. Another one is AION Smart Stake. They also provided interesting interface. Staking Facilities also developed some nice GUI. So those staking providers are also helping to expand the AION ecosystem. And I think we'll see even more of that happening in the future. Also, AION or Open Application Network themselves, they released upgraded new staking interface in the version 0.9.2, I guess, where they made the staking process much easier. So you can right now move your coins from one pool to the other in a much smoother way. You can auto redelegate your earn coins and kind of have a compound interest. You can track your staking process without connecting your ledgers, etc. So a lot of happening in this regard. Again, new video, separate video dedicated to staking coming soon. So follow my channel, subscribe if you want to see that. If you recall my video from October 2019, I had the pleasure to visit AION headquarters in Toronto and have an interview with Matthew Spoke. And at that stage, Matthew was already kind of highlighting some of the upcoming changes. I didn't fully understand it at that time. He was talking about changing narrative on one hand. I will be focusing more on talking to developers and creators how to use blockchain. On the other hand, talking to coin holders about the financial aspects of the coin.
So the thing I think that people can expect from us over the next couple of months is a significantly renewed focus on user adoption outside of the blockchain industry.
Okay.
And then also a very deliberate focus to like convince all of the coin holders that have been supporting AION, what is the purpose of the coin? Why should this coin increase in value as the system develops more of a user base? And what are the functional characteristics of our staking system, our mining system? And so we're going to be doing a significant I'd say amount of refresh to some of the public message that's out there about AION, so people can expect that between now and the end of the year.
Okay, so I mean that was clearly when I listened to this right now. By the way, links will be provided also in the video description below. But that was already kind of a pre-announcement, I think, of the Open Application Network. So Open Application Network is their new branding, new strategy, and the AION is underlying asset securing the Open Application Network. So Open Application Network is the open public decentralized infrastructure which is used by developers and enterprises to build their open applications on top. And it is secured by AION as the underlying asset, and AION is also used to access the network, right? So that's the differentiation which they've introduced. And this also shifted a bit from the previous narrative, which was much more about interoperability. It doesn't mean that AION skipped interoperability. I think it's other way around. So they've achieved in interoperability much more than any other projects, maybe not any other, but most of the projects which claim to do interoperability. So they, just to remind, they did build the AION Ethereum bidirectional bridge called the Mavennet Bridge. So one of their partners built the Mavennet Bridge in the past. So AION is already interoperable with Ethereum, but they for now post the further bridges because not much utility of other networks, right? So they reprioritize this for the future, and right now they focus on increasing utility of their own network. So they will be reaching out to enterprises, developers, companies, startups to build on top of Open Application Network. That's shifting from interoperability rather to smart contracts.
Well,
what's your
this is our big focus for the rest of the year. Is we're changing a lot of how we explain to normal developers, normal companies, what is the value proposition of decentralized systems in general. And then we're effectively building a marketing narrative around why should a software company that's not in the blockchain space care about this technology. So we're addressing these pain points around what are the coordination costs of centralized platforms, what are the frictions in the economy that exist based on the way that economic activity is organized today around big companies like Amazon and Google, and what are alternative ways of designing these economic systems. So we're going to be spending a lot more time kind of building and demonstrating examples of how you can redesign certain types of economic activity in day-to-day life, the way people get in an Uber, the way people go to work, and then use this to open conversations with companies so that they can start seeing a design space of a new technology that opens up new opportunities for their business. And so
that's why they introduced the open kits and the whole Java ecosystem to make it even easier and faster for companies to move parts of their business processes onto blockchain. And interoperability is still the thing, but for the future. So I think we need to see which blockchains gain traction, and then I'm pretty sure we'll see AION connecting those blockchains as well. For now, Ethereum Bridge is working, and AION moved to attract more businesses, more projects, more developers to use their own network. And I think that's what a smart move. We've seen this pretty controversial advertisement in the New York Times, tip of the Zuckerberg, where they announced this new branding. And as of now, we talk two streams. So Open Application Network is the foundation and behind the infrastructure, behind the blockchain, and AION is the name for the underlying asset for the coin securing this network. So Open Application Network enables businesses to build open apps, and open apps are not just a new name for dApps known as decentralized apps. Open apps are named for applications which are partially executed on blockchain, while dApps are like a fully decentralized applications, everything on blockchain, right? So Open Application Network believes that we as an industry are not ready yet for full decentralization for various reasons, and open apps are like a step on the way towards attracting real businesses to the blockchain. And there are already open applications being built and deployed on the Open Application Network. So one example of the open app which is already running on the infrastructure is Velocia. And Velocia is a mobile application that enables to reward users for certain behaviors. So example, they launched in Miami recently when in cooperation with the city of Miami, the Department of Transportation, they helped to solve the traffic problem in Miami. So basically they use Velocia to streamline the traffic into more like a green transportation. So they cooperate with Uber, Lyft, Citybike, and other mobility providers in the city. And Velocia, as a kind of umbrella application, is used to provide rewards to the end users who are using the application for choosing public transportation means rather than their own cars, right? So I think that's a pretty smart application of the technology. So Velocia launching in Miami, that was just a pilot. They plan to launch in other cities in US in 2020. And also they are partnering with other companies like Virgin Train, so the company from Richard Branson. They partner with Nissan, Renault, Toyota. So we can just for now imagine what kind of a bold plans they have in mind and how they want to use the application to help solving some of the problems. And I think it's pretty cool. We should keep an eye on Velocia. Another example of Open App, which is being built on top of Open Application Network, is Bullet ID. Bullet ID enables to engrave barcodes on the ammunition, and this enables the police and the military to track ammunition on the blockchain. So the custody of ammunition and whatever is happening, they scan the barcode and they are able to see the history, what was happening with particular ammunition. So it's going to be deployed in 3 facilities in 2020, I think first half of 2020. And again, it's an example of Open App because parts of the business processes are moved onto the blockchain, and the regular processes are staying somewhere else. So Bullet ID, I think they're somewhere here. So as you can see, I mean, they're partnering with Government of Canada, US law enforcement suppliers. So obviously that's a solution in development, but I think something big may come up out of this development in this year. And just to give a next example, VivoPlay. VivoPlay, they are like a very big media company in Latin America. I think they have 4 million users. And Vivo Pago is their kind of fintech initiative. They built a Pago token on top of Open Application Network, and this will be used probably as kind of a reward on incentives within their ecosystem. So that's again something what is being built. We probably will get some details of this solution soon, and much more examples. If you study this and links and everything. There are a lot of developments of open apps in progress. Obviously, it's not time here and even possible to digest it, and some of them are like under NDA, so even not much details are available yet. But I'm pretty sure 2020 will show us many of those seeing the daylight. Yeah, we just see the daylight. But ecosystem, it's a broader term than just running applications. Ecosystem refers to partners, developers, creators, and the whole environment, which basically is glued together, and parties are cooperating to really attract more users and more use cases, interact with each other. So this is illustration of not the applications only, rather the broader picture. And the big ecosystem builders, if we are talking this for AION, is a Mavennet team. So Mavennet is founded by people who previously helped to launch AION Network. So Cass and Frank, Patrick Mandik, they've been at the early stage of AION Network. And then they decided to kind of come on the other side and help to build the ecosystem. So I look on Mavennet as a kind of like what consensus is for Ethereum. Mavennet is for Open Application Network right now. So they provide consulting and development services for enterprises and for other businesses. And there are already some good things which they've developed. So the mentioned Maven Bridge, so the bridge between AION and Ethereum, it's a work by Mavennet. Maven Stamp, so a solution which helps you to kind of stamp your files, either it's media, if it's a picture or whatever document, you stamp your file, with help of blockchain. It's secure, immutable on a blockchain. So that's also something what they've developed. In the past year, it has been announced that Mavennet won 2 contracts for the government of Canada. That's for the oil and gas tracking in Canada. So they will be using blockchain to provide visibility, traceability for the border transportation, import, export of the gas and oil. No much detail at this stage yet if it's built on a private or public chain, but I guess it's generally good news for the ecosystem. They are also partnering with Stablecorp, and Stablecorp and Mavennet just a few days ago announced the launching of a QCAD, which is the first stable coin pegged one-on-one to Canadian dollar. So that's pretty big. It is based on the Ethereum network, but they are planning to release several other global stable coins and build it on other networks. Possibly AION could be the next one. So I see role of a Mavennet really as an important ecosystem builder and partner for AION. I think they will make a difference for this network in 2020. But they are not the only one. Just to mention another ecosystem builder in other part of the world, so there is a KeshoLabs. That's a development studio in Africa. So they help to build the digital future of Africa, and they also use AION as or Open Application Network as their go-to platform. And KeshoLabs already developed Pesabase, which is a money remittances solution. They have BitHale, which is an exchange, and they have other solutions for esports. So they already have several developments in the blockchain space. And what they are doing with Open Application Network, they are building a VAVU token, and VAVU token is something like currency to help to unite and help to kind of cross their different platforms, right? So it will be used as a currency, it will be used as a loyalty program, it will be used to pay for the fees, and many others. So it will be cross platforms which KeshoLabs is building. And it is a token based on Open Application Network. And KeshoLabs in Africa, I think they're pretty strong. I think they're one of the greatest dev studios in Africa. And I'm happy that AION, now Open Application Network, is working to kind of address those markets. The next one is a Bicameral Ventures, which is an investment fund. They invest into projects which are helping to expand Open Application Network ecosystem. I've uploaded a separate video about Bicameral Ventures on my channel, so you can search through that. I'll provide links in the video description below. But they are also important. Here they're important part of the ecosystem. So they invested in companies like MetaMe, so digital identity solution, MetaLife, so the web browser, Balance, so the custodian services, WinMiners, so the mining solutions, and many more. And as a backbone, they use AION or Open Application Network as a blockchain and AION as an asset, which will also kind of umbrella all the solutions in this or other way. Those solutions, those enterprises which they are investing in, should be using AION this or other way. Again, that's an interesting investment fund. They invest both in tokens and in the equities. So I think that's where the name Bicameral comes from. And I'm not able to list all, but I think worth highlighting is the Blockchain Research Institute, BRI. That's the blockchain research institute led by Alex and Tapscott, which are well-known personas in the blockchain world, and they kind of help to unite the corporate world with the blockchain world. So if you search their partners and use cases, there is an SAP, Salesforce, Microsoft, Procter & Gamble, FedEx. And on the blockchain side, on the technology side, they just have a few partners. They list AION, they list Icon, they list Hyperledger, they list Polymath, and just a few more. So not many of those. And I see a BRI as a kind of company which helps to unite business and the blockchain technology. By the way, they release a lot of interesting papers with use cases, so it's worth studying. A lot of good knowledge on their site you can find. And to close with Ethereum Enterprise Alliance, I have mentioned this before. Matthew Spoke is one of the founding members of Enterprise Ethereum Alliance. Not many people know that, and I think it's pretty huge, especially if you look at the other board members. So Matthew is the board member right now, and we have people from Microsoft there, from Consensus, from JP Morgan, and from several other big companies. So Enterprise Ethereum Alliance is like a body to standardize various activities, tools, processes around Ethereum ecosystem. So AION is in good partnership, the relationship with the Ethereum guys, and Matthew being in the board of directors of EE, I think is a great news for both ecosystems. As I mentioned, that they are talking to include AVM, so the Java Virtual Machine, as one of the standards to the Ethereum ecosystem. That would be a huge thing. So we probably shall see what comes out from this organization. But EA, if you check their members, we have all the big corporations, their banking sector. So that's companies. We see companies there who are interested to use Ethereum. But I think the role of EA is expanding. We probably will see some evolvement in this regard in 2020 as well. And I'm very happy having CEO of Open Application Network, Matthew Spoke, being in the board of directors there. So closing the year, they've announced the cooperation, partnership, and some funding to University of Waterloo. University of Waterloo is one of the greatest research institutes in Canada for sure, and this partnership, and they provided funding to Waterloo for several years, is focused on developing the privacy feature for open applications. So they have launched something called Tetrion, which is a privacy-focused network, and University of Waterloo will be developing this environment so that smart contracts can stay private. Because as you can imagine, for many big companies, enterprises, barrier to adopting blockchain is its transparency. So not everything should be transparent, should be visible, right? So if we're talking like personal data, financial data, pretty sensitive information, if you store it on blockchain, it's public, transparent. Not necessarily it is a good idea in many cases. So you need to have a privacy feature for smart contracts in order for big companies to use blockchain. And University of Waterloo is helping Open Application Network in this regard. I'm sure 2020 we'll see something from those efforts going to the daylight as well. Yeah, and for sure I'm not able to cover everything, like this video is already pretty long. But let's not forget that Open Application Network is focused on solving the unintended consequences of online platforms, right? So we see a big centralization of online platforms like Facebook, Uber, Google, Netflix, Airbnb. Those are huge companies who aggregate our data, who centralize the data about millions, if not billions of people. And this data in hands of a few is potentially subject to security breaches, to some manipulation, unintended or intended marketing campaigns. So big companies having in possession our data is not a good idea. And Open Application Network provides a solution where you can build open applications which will leverage the network effects of those platforms, will help to move some of the processes of those centralized platforms into the blockchain, and do it in a pretty convenient way, easy for developers, and still we can leverage already existing pool of users. So I'm pretty excited to see how they will apply it, building, for example, open Slack or open YouTube. So I'm pretty excited what will be happening in 2020. Please provide your thoughts, what you've seen here in the comment section. Maybe you have some additional information which are worth sharing. Put them in the comment section below. Maybe I've missed something, or maybe I've misinterpreted something. So any suggestions, comments are welcomed. If you want to learn more about Open Application Network and other interesting projects in the blockchain space, consider subscribing to this channel, or unsubscribe if this content is not relevant for you. And again, thumb up or thumb down depending if you like this or not. And expect more content from me soon, especially next video about staking in the Open Application Network ecosystem. Cheers!